Welcome to the Callisto Grand Big Change podcast. This is season 4, where we are focusing on women in credit. Today, my guest is Diana Vrejoiu, Worldwide Customer Disputes and Escalations Manager at PTC Bucharest. Welcome, Diana. Thank you for joining me today.
Hello. Hi, Esther. Nice to be here and to be able to talk with you about this very sensitive topic, I'm sure. It has been lately, at least, it has been really on the mind of everyone. Actually.
Absolutely, I agree with you. So let's dive right into it. Can you please tell me a little bit about your background?
Yeah, of course. Basically, I've been working for many years in credit. It started off, actually it was somewhat a mistake. Let's say it was never that I actually thought, okay, my life's goal is to work in credit, because when I was young, I didn't even know what a career in credit was. Mm-hmm. But given that I studied finance and then also did my master's degree in international economy, mm-hmm. Basically things started to lead to this, let's say, area. I worked in several multinationals and discovered when I actually had my first position in credit as a junior mm-hmm. analyst, discovered that I really like this side of the business. So I decided to grow and stay within finance. Mm-hmm. So right now I can definitely say that I'm a lucky person and that I love my job.
That's very good to hear. And what is it that you enjoy most about it?
There are many things in reality, but I think I would name 2 of them as mm-hmm. my main, or maybe even 3. Yeah, I'll name 3. So first of all, it's the people, because I love working with people. I love having a team, especially because I enjoy helping them grow, mm-hmm. not actually being a manager, but working together with people. And I like to see that my help is actually significant for them, let's say. Mm-hmm. The second component is with in regards to our customers, because I also love seeing a happy customer, seeing that I was able to somehow lead to that situation. You know, maybe it's an unhappy customer in the beginning and you did something amazing that really helped them and improved the relationship between the 2 companies. Mm-hmm. And the third component is project management, which is actually something that I also enjoy a lot. So yeah, in my view, these would be the main 3 components.
Thank you.
Amongst others.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, there are a million things that you could list, but if you have to name the top 3, then these would be it. Do you have a proudest professional achievement so far? A project that you did with a customer that you were really happy with, or something related to your personal development throughout the years?
I think I will reference for this question a customer that we had. It's not in my current job, it's in one of my former positions, but we had a very difficult relationship with one of our customers. At some point, of course, I'm not able to give lots of details because it's sensitive, but in the end, what happened is that we put together a small team that traveled to the customer's site. It was in a different country. Of course, the country was very different to ours. They had a completely different way of doing business. Mm-hmm. And also they used to relate to each other in a completely different way. Mm-hmm. Our team was also, well, it was a small team, but in any case, it was composed out of different backgrounds, younger people, older people. I was coming from Romania, the other people were coming from different countries, so it was all a mixture. Basically, it was a strange point because in the relationship with the respective customer, because they were very unhappy and they were also our main distributor in that specific country. So if we would cut off the relationship with them, basically we were not able to ship in that country anymore. So what happened is that we had a few days of meetings to talk about the points that they were unsatisfied about, how we can move forward. And at a certain point in time, things got a little bit heated up. Everyone was unhappy. So the customer was saying, this is impossible. We cannot do it this way. We need to receive a better collaboration and help from your side with these points. So what happened was that the person leading our team, basically, so the salesperson, because usually they are the main point of contact for the customer, also started to get unhappy. And at that point, I felt that, okay, this is it. The business relationship will be ruined. We will no longer be able to ship in this country. They will fight. And our sales manager got up from the table and said, no, I'm leaving right now. So at that point, yes, because of all these factors, I think that's one of my proudest achievements, because I was able to calm everyone down. I took over the initiative and I started to lead all the meetings. I calmed down both the customer and our sales manager in a way that they both ended up agreeing to the points, because it's not like I think it was basically more of a misunderstanding than the fact that they actually did not agree to the points. So I was very happy that in the end, everything was fine. And after all the long meetings, we ended up going to a restaurant and enjoying a nice meal all together with both teams. And of course, the collaboration continued.
That's wonderful to hear. So being in a senior position like yours, how does that affect your work-life balance?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what are your priorities, I would say, because anything in life is a choice. So, of course, you can choose to, I don't know, work overtime, work long hours. At some point in time, well, multiple points in time, I chose to do that, but it was my decision. So even if I would stay up until, I don't know, 3 a.m., I have to admit 3 a.m. was the most for me. I couldn't. After that, I fell asleep. Or even just, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours per day. I think that's a lot. I mean, I think people can always choose for themselves if they want to put in this extra effort or if they don't. And it really depends on what moment it is in your life, because of course if you have children, maybe when they are very young you cannot afford to do that, or in any case, if you have any other type of priority, if you have, I don't know, maybe a hobby, a second job, or anything that you need to do after your working hours, I would say that I advise other people to potentially do overtime, but only if they actually think it will be useful. And also, I would not suggest doing this for a prolonged period of time, because then, of course, you can burn out. And then you are not productive anymore. So if you do it for 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, it depends, a limited period, that's fine, I think. It really helped me. For example, I was able to finish many projects like that, but I don't do it constantly. So that's why I think I'm trying to mostly adjust and to have a balanced amount of time shared between work and my personal life, again, in order not to be in a bad physical condition, because of course burnout.
Absolutely. So how do you blow off steam then?
I don't know, so many things. I usually enjoy diversity, and I like new ideas. So, of course, like any other person, I do like enjoying, I don't know, a quiet Netflix night or any of the usual answers, but I also like thinking about, I don't know, any new idea. So anything from horse riding to hiking on the mountains to, it's not like I do it all the time every day, but I try to do something different at least every 2 weeks.
That's great. Have you ever felt underestimated by any of your male colleagues?
Not really. I think I'm in a fortunate position because usually in this area, in the area of credit and collections, or at least this is what I've seen so far, this is my experience, there are more women than men, mostly because lots of positions require a second language on top of English. So usually it's women are more inclined to learn other languages. So this is why we have a larger population, let's say. And this is why I'm saying I think I'm fortunate because, of course, being that we are more women than men in this area, I personally never felt something like that. However, I did, of course, hear about all sorts of situations, both from colleagues as well as from friends. But on the other hand, I would also say that me, as well as anyone else working in big companies and multinationals, are a little bit more, again, more fortunate than others. To give you an example, what happens in multinationals, so a bigger company that is located in many countries and has all sorts of rules and regulations, is not the same as what happens in a small or medium-sized Romanian company. For example, in Romania, I hear lots of bad things, similar to what you can see on a TV show, probably, when the secretary is told that she can either be fired or, bring the coffee in a better way with a big smile, if you can understand what I'm saying. But no, as I said, my personal experience has not included anything like that.
That's great that you didn't have to deal with a situation like that personally. Do you think that there's a competition between the male and female leaders?
I mean, it should be. It probably should be. I personally never felt that I'm competing with someone and only because of the gender there would be a disadvantage, for example, or a difference. But in reality, yes, there should be. I mean, if you look at any type of org chart, for example, there's always many more men than women. In the charts as well, we can see that in any country, the percentage of women working in X area is lower than men. Of course, this comes from older times. But as far as I see right now, there are many efforts being done to try to offer more chances, maybe, or equal chances to women. Especially Romania, for example, is a country where the percentage of women in top management positions is much higher than other countries. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's #1 in Europe, even.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
I'm not sure exactly because, of course, the charts move, but I know that I read something we're in a pretty good position in comparison to other countries. So yes, of course, I think it's probably in the back end, it's something that people are used to. They are used to think that, okay, a man probably is much more suitable for X, Y, Z positions. But at the same time, I think there's, in the recent days, there are lots of thoughts given to the fact that women, for example, are much more empathic. So if you want, it depends on what type of role you want. If you want, of course, someone that will carry a bunch of rocks, you cannot have a woman do that because they are too heavy and the effort would not be um, in a good place. But at the same time, if it's something that requires, let's say, soft skills, a more developed side of empathy and so on, probably woman is preferred.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for that. And speaking of skills, could you name a specific leadership skill that perhaps female leaders have, whereas male leaders don't?
I can think of several. I don't think it's a generic statement. Because, of course, you can say women are more empathic, but it's not like all women are more empathic. You can find examples of, very bad examples.
Yes.
And it's the same with men. You can say men are usually, for example, they get bored easily, but not all of them. Maybe many of them are very patient. So probably I would name all these soft skills like patience, empathy, and so on to be a little bit more developed in women, only because probably we are used to, babies screaming, and we have a bit more resistance than men.
Yes.
But again, I really think it really depends on each case, because I really saw bad examples of women and very good examples of men. So
it's great that you also see a variety in that as well. Do you feel empowered at your current company?
Yes, generally, yes. Of course, again, this has many shades. Probably you can discuss for hours what does empowerment mean for each of us, because maybe it has a different meaning. But right now, so in my current position, I would say that yes. Of course, in other positions that I had in the past, I wouldn't say it was the same situation. For example, I really had a pretty bad experience in one of my previous jobs where basically everything I was saying was being questioned. I didn't feel like I had a good relationship with my manager. I didn't feel like my manager trusted me. And for sure, it was not fair. It was not based of anything real. It was not like I made any mistake or something. It's just that I don't know. The relationship was not very very good. So of course, I made the decision to leave that respective position because of that. And I think empowerment is really an important topic for anyone at any level, let's say, because even if it's not, for example, what I try to do with my teams, even if it's not specifically their decision or my decision to do something, you can always see how you can approach the situation. So it's one thing if you just say to your team, for example, you have to do this because I say so, or because my manager said so, or because upper management said so. And it's a different thing if you try to work as a team together to try to find the best solution, even if maybe not all the points that the respective person or the team mentioned will actually be used in that problem, but at least they get a chance to speak their minds. And actually, what I saw is that this is a very interesting, at least in my experience. Again, I'm only talking about my experience.
Absolutely.
It's actually a very interesting thing to do because even if you sometimes, because of course, I admit, I also, during the course of the years, I sort of see that maybe this person in my team is better and this person is not as good. And there are a little bit of differences between them maybe. And you can, in some situations, you can always be astonished by the fact that, oh, look, this person that I really didn't consider as one of my top performers came up with this wonderful idea that nobody else thought about. And maybe that, I don't know, just saves the situation or something. So yeah, what I try to do always is, again, even if it's not my decision or their decision, I try to speak to my team and consult with all of them, work together and find the best key points for any solution.
That's great. I think that as long as everybody feels involved in this decision, not necessarily the decision-making process, but finding a solution, that's always going to make them feel good. Do you have a dedicated women's community at your current company?
Yeah, we actually do. I admit that I don't really know what are the exact initiatives. There were a few meetings, probably around 2 or 3. I think it's quite a new initiative, but I haven't been able to participate in them because of all the conflicts, how it is with different project meetings and so on. So being that right now I work in fast-paced environment, our department is actually new. We are only, we have been created only 1 year and a few months ago. So we have a ton of initiatives ongoing. But yeah, maybe we can discuss in a while, and I will be able to tell you more about what is happening with the women of PTC.
Absolutely. I would love to hear about it more in the future. But I think it's really good that you have the opportunity to go to a community within the company if you have any problems. It's always wonderful. As we're getting close to the end of the interview, I would like to ask one of my final questions, which is, what advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
I would probably say do not get discouraged. I think this is a good advice for everyone, actually, because of course, I see what happens with my friends, people that are probably in similar situations that I experienced in the past. So I've actually been able to overcome all the points where I didn't feel, I don't know, something didn't feel right or didn't feel fair in the past. But in reality, after all these years, I think that whatever happened in that specific moment was for the best. And that, patience gets you to where you should go, not where you want to go. Again, in my case, that's true. And I'm very lucky to have ended up in a good place and doing something that I really love, because not many people can actually say that. The saying that it doesn't feel like you have worked even a day in your life if you're doing something that you love.
Absolutely.
But yes, I admit that there were many things and many situations in the past years where I felt unappreciated, or I felt that probably, I don't know, I was discriminated, not based on gender, but on other factors. I felt it was not fair. The decision that was made was not fair. But in the end, I'm happy that those were the decisions that were made because they led me to this specific point. So I'm trying to be very optimistic, even if something, let's say, bad happens, because I'm also, I don't know, I have all these beliefs. So I believe in God, and I believe that everyone has their own path they should be walking on, and somehow we will get to that path. We just need to be patient.
I agree with you. And my final question for you would be, what are your personal and professional hopes and dreams or goals for the next 5 years?
Actually, I have lots of plans for the next years. Again, I hope I will be able to reach all of them. But if not, it's okay. I'm patient. I can skip it, to the next 10 years instead of 5, maybe. Actually, I'm not a, how can I put it? I'm patient in one sense, but I'm not patient in the other sense. I actually admire a lot people like Elon Musk. You know, he has a saying that we should stop thinking about what we can do in the next 5 years and think about how we can do the same thing, but in 6 months. So this is more or less how I've always been as a person. Even if I think that, okay, I need 5 years, for example, to achieve that step, I somehow feel that I want to achieve it in 6 months. Yeah, right now I obtained my project management professional certification, and I would like to get to the next step to become a program manager. So that's one of the things that I would like to do. And otherwise, I would like to grow more in my career. I've had a few teams so far, let's say between a few headcounts, and the top was around 20 headcounts. So what I would like to do would be to have much bigger teams again, because I love working with people and seeing how I can help more and more people achieve what they want. Yeah, basically in 5 years, I see myself as probably as a CFO at a top company. I don't know.
Oh, that's a wonderful dream to have. That's something to look forward to and work towards.
We have to dream big.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we will not get anywhere. Absolutely. It's not my saying, it's Elon Musk's saying, so I have to follow what he says.
Limit is always the sky, so why not?
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much, Diana, for joining me today. I think this is a wonderful interview, and I know that you will inspire many youngsters among the profession. So thank you very much once again, and I look forward to sharing it with the rest of the world.
Thank you for your time, Esther. And again, hopefully it will help because I see and I have worked, of course, with many young professionals, and it's not really easy in the beginning of the career to figure out where you want to go, what are your next steps, what you should be doing or should not be doing. So again, just patience for everyone. And of course, I didn't mention this, but I should. You should also work hard if you want to achieve your goals. That's first number one.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Diana.
Thank you, Esther. Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.